Hello everybody, welcome to another hot day in May. My name is Jeremy. That felt really awkward. Over the last couple of days, I have actually had a number of you asking about my coming out story, so I am going to be sharing that with you guys today. Now, my coming out story is not the most fantastic coming out story in the whole world, but the good thing is that I ended up coming out of it pretty well. This is freaking hot. I can't have this light on me. Dying, I tell you. So I knew that I liked guys back in 5th grade. I liked girls at the same time. I am bisexual, and I knew that I liked both way back then, and I kept my mouth shut because in 6th grade, one of my really good friends, her best friend was actually gay, and I would sit with them all the time at lunch, and she was a little bit older than me, and I remember that when the friend came out to his family, they accepted him, and they were like, you know, we love you, we're fine with who you are, and my dad told me, very specifically, Jeremy, if you ever tell me that you like guys, you will not be any son of mine. And I remember he told me to stop hanging out with these two friends because they were in sin and they weren't going to heaven, and that I wasn't a Christian if I was hanging out and condoning it. So I kept doing it anyways because I didn't think anything was wrong with it. I'm like, you know what? I like guys too, so whatever. Doesn't even matter. They had made it very clear over the years that this would be my fate if I ever liked guys. So I think in the back of their mind they always knew that it was reality, they just didn't want to accept it, and so the way that they tried to combat it was by saying things like that and saying ignorant things like, if my dad would hit his hand on something that hurt him, or if he hit his leg on something and if he got hurt, he would call whatever the object was that hit him a fag or a homosexual or a queer or some kind of derogatory name for a homosexual person, and that would be anything. It was just always a derogatory term in our house, and it was always used for something negative. And my dad even later admitted to me that he used those things to try to deter me from actually coming out and admitting that I liked guys too. So back in my whole story of how I met Jacob, I had explained to you guys before that I was sexually taken advantage of by my roommate. Thankfully, it didn't go very far, but it happened. I repressed it. I ended up going into therapy for that, to get healing from it much later down the road. And during therapy, I kind of realized that I needed to embrace my sexuality, and the thing that was bothering me the most about the whole incident was that I thought I had done something to deserve it, and that maybe by me having my thoughts that I liked guys, I brought it upon myself and I deserved to be punished somehow, and that was my mindset at the time. And I needed to be able to move past that, and in doing that, I ended up moving into accepting my own sexuality. So flash forward to me meeting Jacob, and I don't want to spoil too much of it. We'd been dating for a while, and I decided about 3 months in that I was not going to be happy until my parents knew. In October, I ended up coming out to them, and it was kind of a forced thing, actually. I was at home, and I was really upset because I'd been working with my counselor about coming out, and I was just like, I'm not ready to do this, I don't feel comfortable doing it, I can't do it right now. And my counselor was just like, you know, it's your choice, and you have to be able to do what's going to be safest for you. And I was telling my parents that I was really upset and depressed lately, and I was kind of just giving off these BS reasons, and finally my dad was like, why are you depressed? Those are not real reasons. And finally my mom comes out, and she was storming, she was pissed off, she was like, you have no reason to be upset or depressed. You didn't have the childhood that I had a way worse childhood than you did. You have it so much better than I ever did. You have nothing to be depressed about. Tell us. And they basically both sat me down, and I was in the middle of the couch. My dad was on my right. My dad was on my left side. My mom was on my right. I'm having Rebecca Black moments right now. And they were both staring at me, and they were both just like, tell us why you're depressed. Tell us, tell us, tell us. And I was just like, no, never mind, never mind, never mind, never mind. And I was trying to get out of it. I was trying to walk away, and they wouldn't let me. Anytime I got up, they would just grab me and push me back down. And they kind of forced me to come out. And finally I just told them, and I was like, I'm dating a guy. And both my parents, just their faces dropped, and they looked totally upset. And usually that's where people's stories end, is that it just went from upset. But mine actually ended up getting worse. My dad grabbed me, and he kind of shook me around, and he's like, no, you're not. You don't like guys. You are a man. You are supposed to like girls. you are blatantly in sin and you know it. And he was just yelling at me, and he dropped a few curse words. My dad has never cussed in his entire life that I've grown up with him. My dad has never cussed once. My mom has a few times, but she dropped a few swear words too. But for the most part, she just kind of sat with her arms folded and trying not to just burst into tears. My dad was screaming at me and yelling, and at one point he just was like, "Get out. Get your crap and get out of here." And I like went to go get my stuff, and he actually was like, "Actually stop." And he took my car keys and he went out and he unloaded everything that was his from the car, which was just a few things that I was taking home for the weekend, because my parents had a garage sale that weekend, and so I was going to take some of the stuff home that they didn't sell, stuff that I wanted for my apartment that I thought would look nice. He went and he unloaded that and threw it into the garage and said, "You don't get to keep that, you're not my son anymore." And then they basically sat me down in their bedroom and they tried to give me an option of walking away, and that I could leave my boyfriend and go into counseling and go into therapy and fix myself and get healing, and they would be okay with me. And I was like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm in love with this guy." I didn't say that because I was afraid. And so they basically just pulled me out of the house. I grabbed up my backpack, I went in my car, and my mom drove me back to my apartment, dumped me off, and said, "There's never been a day that I've been more disappointed in you, and I'm giving you back to God now, and I wish that I had never been your mother." And my dad called me up while I was driving with my mom. He actually called her number because he took my phone away. And he was just in tears with me the whole time and saying, "How could you do this to us? Why would you do this to us? What did we do wrong?" And I was like, "You guys didn't do anything wrong. This is my choice. I'm wanting to be happy." And they didn't understand that. They didn't get that. They didn't understand that me being in the closet was more harm to me than being out. And there was just so much psychological damage that was going on that unless I came out, I was never going to be happy. And they were just so upset with me. So my mom drops me off. She unloads my stuff from the car and basically just drove away. And I packed up my stuff, put it in my apartment, and walked in tears to my friend Lauren's apartment. And just I hung out with her and we were talking and just trying to figure out the whole thing. And since then, it really hasn't gotten better. At least with my family. And there's like that whole campaign of it gets better. And sometimes it doesn't. And that was the whole point of the video that I made originally when I got kicked out, is that sometimes it just doesn't get better. And in my case it didn't, but thankfully it got better in another area, is that after I came out to my family, I got several letters and emails and things of that nature of how I'm blatantly sinning, how I'm slapping them in the face, how I'm going to hell, and about how God doesn't love me anymore because of what I'm doing, and that I need to repent. And they even sent me this stupid dumb book. It's over on my bookshelf, and I'm planning on selling it soon. It's called Desires in Conflict. It's by this guy who thinks he can figure out how to heal you and teach you like the right path to like get healed out of your sexual orientation. And they've been sending me stupid crap like that since, but thankfully my boyfriend Jacob, he came out to his mom, and his was a kind of similar situation where he didn't mean to come out. We both have like separate Facebook profiles, and we call them like our boyfriend profiles. And we have that we're in a relationship. We have pictures of us on there, and his mom added me on Facebook, and then she ended up running across the boyfriend profiles, and she was like, "Jacob, just so you know, your other profile isn't blocked like Jeremy's is." And she's like, "Do you want to talk to me about that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm dating Jeremy, da 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 da." And she was like, "I love you both. I may not completely agree, but I love you both." And so it was really encouraging to know that his mom was in support. His sister loves me. His younger brother doesn't know yet, and his dad doesn't know yet. Something tells me that them knowing is going to be on the horizon, but it worked out in that aspect, and most of my friends were really supportive of me, and most of them were actually really angry at my family. Mostly what I want to convey from this video is that it may not get better at first, but it will get better, and maybe in a way that you didn't expect it to. So I feel like I've been talking for a long time, and it's really, really, really hot, and I'm going to shut this video off and turn on the air again, and I'm going to hope that the heat goes away sometime soon, because it's just, this is not fun. Any of you guys living in SoCal right now? It sucks. Hate this weather. Peace out. Don't know what this is. That's new. Doop, doop. peace, peace. Whoa, 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 peace, peace. Mr. Moonlight, upside down. Mr. Moonlight, we don't mind the bossing. Ooh, there's a banana in here. I made a moon sand banana.